the champion. So I want to wish you a very, very successful symposium and discussion. And with that, I want to declare the symposium open. So I will request, Honorable Minister, that you allow me to go.
I will ask you to sit for 1 minute. You know, thank you so much. You have talked and talked like an advocate, but I want you to have a feel of one of the invisible disabilities from a young child, just going to give us about 1 to 2 minutes and say something. Can we get a microphone to this young person? Please come. Who's guiding the young man, the young girl?
It's okay. I think she has spoken to the minister already. Thank you. She got scared. She got scared. Justin, can you come back here? Please. Come back. Yes. Justin, you just stop. I don't want to.
Okay? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christine Blessing. I go to Kingston International School. I'm 8 years. I'm in year 3. I was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus. When the Honorable Minister called me, I was not here. I was going to do CIC. CIC is removing urine from the bladder using a catheter.
Please. Yes. Blessing, come and sing your song. People want your song again. DJ, do you remember our anthem? Just a minute. I have to sing the anthem. Okay.
Education in the world is wrong with me. I stood till the entire world of this disease. Thanks to the nation and to all the ministries who work hard and lots of funds and show the love. Together as one, we can end this war. We can fight, stop, spina bifida. Together as one, future lies in our hands. If we come out and we teach the world, Lord our Father, please protect the world. On the fight and stop of spina bifida. As we practice primary prevention, love and care, then we can let go Together as one, we can end this war. Return 5 stops, spin a bifida. Together as one, future lies in our hands. If we come out and we take the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, I request just about 3 things. One is a photograph, a photo opportunity between yourself, Kirsten, Catherine, and Anyango. Catherine and Anyango, can you move very quickly? The second photograph will be between the members of parliament and the Honourable Minister. And the third one will be a picture photo between the council, National Disability Council, with the minister. Those are the 3 pictures I ask of you, Honourable Minister. The first one, yes, right there. Let me have the 2 ministers with these 2, 3. Anyanga has disappeared. Oh, okay. Honourable members of parliament, prepare. Thank you. Next is Honourable members of parliament with the Honourable ministers. Thank you very much, the children. As members of the council, also prepare together with the executive secretary of the council. Oh, you're in the minority. Council members, please. The final and Honourable Minister is between the ministers and the council, National Council for People with Disabilities in Uganda. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for sparing time to do the. We thank you. We thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. And thank you very much, Honourable Minister of State. I now would like to call Dr. Ojok.
My apologies to the boyfriend. You know, these days, Mondo used to be my boyfriend, but he fears when I became a minister and he's the boss. Now, when women grow big, men begin to coin. But I wanted to say that I will be leaving the meeting because we have so many things in between to coordinate State House. We have the beauty pageant. In the afternoon, the Honorable Minister for Children, Youth and Children will be here to do the needful. So the minister has not left you. We have the team all here, and I think feel at home. But please, the rapporteurs, make a good statement so that we can carry it forward. Thank you so much for coming, and may God bless you.
Colleagues, I want to propose that I invite the next presenter, Dr. Ojok. But I'll be having a team that will be picking table by table to pick a cup of tea so that we do working break tea. Is that agreeable? Yeah, so that we redeem time. May I now invite Dr. Patrick Ojok from Chambago University to come and walk us through the state of disability inclusion in Uganda. Karibu, Mwarimu.
May I request the technical team to display my presentation? Yeah, thank you. MC, the protocol has changed, but I'd like to recognize the Honorable Minister, who is the chief guest, and also the Minister of State, who is just on her way out. All the members of parliament who are here present, the government dignitaries and representatives from the different ministries, departments, and agencies, the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the chair and the team, the representatives of civil society organizations, the other people who are here in their individual capacities, and most importantly, all the citizens, all the Ugandans with disabilities, whose day we are commemorating today. I am Dr. Patrick Ojok, as the Master of Ceremony has already introduced, and I am a proud disability studies scholar by choice. When I went for my PhD in the US, most of my colleagues were asking me why I joined the field. And I told them, I am here not because I have a disability, but because of my professional interest. So it therefore gives me distinct, thank you, it gives me distinct pleasure to talk on this very important day, which is a precursor to a worldwide celebration of disability. I want to thank the Commissioner for Disability and Elderly Affairs for picking on me to deliver this address. I'd like to clarify that I'm speaking on the behalf of Beatrice Guzu as well, who is the Executive Secretary for the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, who we agreed with that I make a joint presentation. And I would like to admit that it is not an easy task when you are asked to talk on a complex topic as the state of disability inclusion in a country. It's like opening the lid of the container called disability inclusion to have a look at what is there, what have we done, what is missing, how do we move. So, but I'm ready to take on it because it is a subject of passion for me as a scholar in this field. I would like to start by giving a note referring to the word of the UN Secretary General, who says, I urge all countries to fully implement the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, increase accessibility, and dismantle legal, social, economic, and other barriers with the active involvement of persons with disabilities and their representatives. So the call from the UN Secretary General is for Uganda to fully implement the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, to make sure that the built environment is accessible, to make sure that all social, legal, and economic barriers are dismantled, and all this is to be done with involvement of persons with disabilities as active citizens. That is a very important message, and I thought I should echo it here too. So what am I going to really talk about? So my presentation is going to center really around three things. One, I will be touching on where are we coming from. You know, we've come so far, but unless we remind ourselves where we are so many years ago, we risk to relapse to that position. So as you can see, the picture I've chosen there, that is actually Capitol Hill, where the congressmen and senators sit in the United States. And those are people with disabilities crawling on the inaccessible stairs of Congress of the United States. So this is the journey, this is the history where we are coming from. So my starting point on where we are coming from, I would really like to make the point that globally, all persons with disabilities have a common experience. All persons with disabilities everywhere have a common experience. And what has been their experience historically? The global historical experience of persons with disabilities has been that of exclusion from society. At some point, persons with disabilities were considered not as subjects, but objects who were not right bearers. They could not take part in any activity or life of society because of their disability. Persons with disabilities everywhere also experience invisibility. They are in most cases on the margins of society. They experience oppression, marginality, and discrimination. And when I say this is a global experience, what I mean is that whether a person with disabilities in the developed world or in the developing world, they all experience these things I'm talking about. The difference, however, is in the nature and the magnitude of these experiences and what is done in the respective countries. I would like also to touch on, in terms of thinking about disability, there has also been what I call a paradigm shift. So where are we coming from in terms of paradigm? So in terms of paradigm, society has evolved in the way it has been thinking about disability, and we shouldn't forget this. But the question that I wanted to reflect as I touch on this slide is, what has changed? So many years ago, the dominant way of looking at disability was using the lens called the charity model. In the charity model, disability was looked at as an object of pity. People who are deserving of sympathy because they are suffering from a very bad condition, which is tragic, and they are considered people who should be looked after. So the thinking was that of dependency, because people with disabilities are suffering. They are suffering from disability, that kind of language. And so today, when you look at people with disabilities being rolled around the streets of Kampala, it is partly because the thinking that the sight of a person with disability begging in the street can attract pity, can evoke your feelings to be able to support them. So That is the charity model thinking. And there was also, or there is, the medical model of looking at disability. So the medical model is one of the very dominant thinking around disability, whereby it looks at or frames disability as a problem which lies within the individual as a result of functional limitations coming from impairment.